Welcome, everyone. It's Cindy again, and this time I am here with a very, very dear friend, Oliver Blue. And I told him before we came on, you know what, Oliver? I don't feel to read your bio. I have it. I could pull it up, but a bio is just words. So instead of my reading a bio as a way of introducing um, this dear friend, I would invite you, Oliver, to tell us who you are or who you would like us to know, what you would like us to know about you in this moment.
Wow. Well, thank you, Cindy, and thank you to Feel Free and uh, the Peer Present Conference and all of the staff there, and to the Center for Awakening, formerly known as Teachers of God, and everyone that's behind the scene that has put this and created this space, this conference that is coming up this weekend. And I'm just humbled to be, uh, first of all, to be invited to be a part of it, and I'm humbled to be invited to do this live um, interview where you and I get to talk about, the long-awaited takeoff of this thing come Friday. And with that said, who am I? That's the question all of us, on this journey to awakening is trying to discover. But, I'll share some bullet points about me. Well, first of all, my name's Oliver Blue, as everyone know, and they have the title next to my name, coach and advanced spiritual teacher. But in reality, I'm just like everyone that's listening here. My journey to awakening and has been just as normal as any other person that is on this planet. I was born in a body. I was given a government name. I was given a government number. I was born to a loving family. The seven of us, I had my beginnings in government housing. And, I grew up having my beginning awareness concerning God, or, that which is responsible for all this in a Christian home. And that was my first introduction to the idea of a creator and a God. And so my life was pretty normal, and I came up in a very small town. I went to college, one of the best 4 years of my life. And it was after college and when I started my young adult journey, that question that you just asked me, who are you? What you want to share? Began to ring inside of me when I was so at a point in my life that I really didn't know who I was, and I was very uncomfortable with myself. Though it looked as though my outer world was like, sparkling, but inwardly I was in a lot of fear. I was in a lot of pain and lack of understanding. And all of that led me back to my roots, where I began to turn to the Christian Bible, or the Bible. And from that, it evolved into what I call an awakening moment in my life. And this was 34 years ago, and 34 years later, my journey of awakening has evolved to the point where I'm now sitting here with you, Sandy, and with this great community, A Course in Miracles and non-duality, this audience. But I'm more so a student of spirituality. I'm more so an eternal student of of discovering who I am, and this discovery continues to unfold each and every day and each and every moment of the day. And so I don't really consider myself so much of an advanced spiritual teacher than a student of spirituality. And so I love this community that is sponsoring this event. Bill and Lisa have become dear friends. Cindy, Susan, all of you guys I've worked with, and I'm so excited about what is going to unfold this weekend with all of these different teachers and speakers from different backgrounds and coming from different point of views. And we're going to have all of this in 3 days, where we have seekers and non-seekers. You guys have created this awesome space, and I just so look forward to what is going to happen to those that participate in this. So that's who I am.
I know I gave you an order of the questions I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask them out of order because I can. I'm looking at the description of your 90-minute session. Our marvelous mind, a proven path to your awakening. I would love for you to talk a little bit. You know, you could register for free to come and attend the conference. There's 17 or 18 different speakers. Many of them I've spoken to here on this Facebook page. It's been extraordinary for me. I would love, Oliver, if you take a few minutes and let everybody know what they can expect during this 90-minute session with you, and I'll be there.
Oh,
On November 12th, it's at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. What will happen during those 90 minutes? What can we expect?
well, that's a great question. I actually will be in the last session. I've been thinking about that this week, and I say, oh, well, I guess if you're in the last session, you feel like you're responsible for taking all 3 days and wrapping them up in a nice, pretty bow, right? And then just making sense out of all of this that has gone on the previous 3 days. But I chose this topic because this is pretty much where I live. I look at life now as art and science. There was one time when I was just all into the art, all into the knowing, all into the expression. But when I became a course student back in 2005, and from 2005 until 2020, I pretty much was a I was a student of the Course in Miracles because it is a course, and I studied the course on my own over that period of time. And what I discovered from the course is that, number one, it makes over almost 1,400 references to the mind in the text as well as in the workbooks for students. And so, and the fact that the people that the two people that the book came through, this information came through, were also psychologists, which they had a background in understanding, the mental makeup or the mental mind. And what I have discovered over these last 34 years is that this one universal mind that has that's all encompassing, has all power, has all the intelligence, all the knowing, that mind is, in religious circles, they may call it God, or depending on, the platform, they may call it the universal mind or God or the great power, or in science, they call it energy. And what all of these different areas do agree on is that there is but one source to life. And what we call it is really not that important, but what is important is for us to understand that this one mind is the one mind that we all share. And that even the Course says that the mind is the activating agent of the spirit. In other words, it is how we access this power, this intelligence, and that it is everywhere present at all times. And so it is uh, not so much about the mind itself, but it's about the fact that we can become aware, or if, like the Course says, that it is awakening is but a recognition. When we recognize that we are a part of this one mind, this one self, this one being, this one source, and that the root of all spiritual message is this idea of our oneness, the oneness that we share, and discover that we cannot bypass this mind that we have, because I've tried to experience that in my own journey and tried to not understand how the mind works, what it is, with thoughts and feelings and emotions and all of these psychological things, the psychological side of ourselves. And we've tried to kind of bypass that and try to find peace without understanding how the mind works. And then what I experienced, and what a lot of seekers and advanced spiritual people experience, is this duality or this conflict, and they don't experience the peace. And so I went on the quest to try to understand through the Course in Miracles and others non-dual teachings in the Bible and through psychology and science. And I spent my time trying to understand how can all of this be, like the theme here is the unity of the body, spirit, and heart, right? The body, mind, and the heart. How do you bring that into harmony, right? And how do you, like the Course says, get to the peace of God? Because that is what we all desire. All of us desire peace. All of us desire to have tranquility within ourselves. All of us desire to understand life, to understand everything about this journey that we are on. And I have discovered that it is through this marvelous mind that we have, and renewing that mind and bringing that mind into alignment with the truth, is the way that we actually get to the peace that we so desire. And so this is what we're going to be talking about, sharing in my 90 minutes about that marvelous mind, because it is with the same mind that we have used to create what we do not want, what we do not desire. It is with that same marvelous mind that we can create the life that we so desire. We can enter into the peace or into the rest that we so desire, and it happens through the mind. And so that's where we're going in my 90 minutes, and we're going to do a few things in there that are practical that will help the attendee to be able to take away some things that they can do and implement in their own life, right? To get engaged in what, like the scripture says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of the mind. And so we cannot bypass the mind. Like I said, 1,300, almost 1,400 references to the mind in the Course. So that leaves a clue. And we need to study and understand, what is it telling us? And even the Course says that the peace of God has been placed in our minds. It's not out there, but it's already present within us. It's in our consciousness. And so how do we unpack that to where I'm no longer living frustrated every day, and I'm no longer moved by everything that's happening outside of me? And how can I have more healthy relationships? How can I take this marvelous mind and walk in better health? How can I take this marvelous mind and create a career for myself? Or how can I develop the gifts that I have to better serve, my family, my community, and the world? But it all happens through the mind, and I've discovered that. And so I spend my life still unpacking, how that we can engage in that, and that all of us can be this light of the world. Like our elder brother said, that we should be and that we've been created to be. So that's kind of it. I know that was a lot, but that's where we're going with my next.
More to come. So one final
Yes.
question before I let you go, Alan. Um, if you were to believe the news and what you see when you look out your window and conversations with the average man on the street, the world is very chaotic and insane on more levels than I can account. You know, there's major wars, there's hate crimes, there's racism, there's prejudice, there's global warming, there's pandemics, there's blank, 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 fill in the blank. And with all of that going on, why do we put on a conference like this? Why do we invite people to do this work? In what way could any of this help?
Wow, that's really what I call a present day question, because it really is what we all are faced day in and day out here with, because the time we live in, when things happen anywhere in the world now, we can be brought right into that situation, through the technology. And so everyone's aware, and everyone's uh, know that um, what's happening in the world is at some point, going to affect, where we are. So like, we're not immune to it, but at the same time, um, we're not so much in trouble as we are in transition, the way I see it, because these things must occur, because it's just a reflection of the state of mind of humanity, right? Because again, focusing on the mind is a creative, it is a creative part of us. And thoughts are the activities of the mind. And so when we see discord, when we see division and strife and separation and anger, when we see the devaluing of life, it is but a reflection of what's in the mind of humanity. Right? And so what is the answer? What is the solution to that? The solution is not out there. Once we see it in form, once we see it on display, it's an effect. But if there's to be a real solution, we have to get to the cause. And the cause to every effect, the cause to all of the things that we see in form is a result of the state of mind of humanity. And so the solution has to be the renewing of the mind. And so why come to a conference, and how can one get help when all of this is going on? Because this is where we will discover some of the real answers and some of the real solutions, not only for you personally, but globally and as a species, by discovering the truth about who we are, right? Because it really gets down to our identity. And because we don't know who we are, then everything outside of us becomes an enemy, or everything outside of us becomes an offense. And so we don't understand the oneness that we share, this one life, this one breath, this one being, that we're all one. And so conferences like these, especially this particular conference, where we're going to get into not only your personal journey of awakening, but the journey of humanity and humanity's awakening, because this is what is actually happening. These things must surface in order for them to be healed. And it's ugly when they surface, and it looks really devastating. It looks really bad on the surface. But even A Course in Miracles says, true forgiveness looks on devastation and remind the mind that what it sees, what is not reality. And it's not our reality. Peace is our reality. Love is our reality. But because the mind of humanity is not completely awakened, then the love nature that we are is covered up and it's not being put on display. What is the opposite of love is what you get is, the fear and the hate and the guilt, and it demonstrates itself in these various ways as wars and fightings and all kind of craziness, right? So how do you find peace in the midst of this? Well, peace is present. It comes through the knowing, and it comes through the awakening, and it comes through expanding our awareness and our understanding. And believe me, the mind is the mechanism that takes place. It's not going to fall out of the sky, but it's going to come through the renewing of the mind. And that's why I'm going there.
You can't hear me when I'm muted, can you, Oliver?
Oh, but that's why I'm going there, Susan. And that's why my title is This Marvelous Mind is the Proven Path to Our Awakening.
Fabulous. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your brilliance. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for your love. We'll see all of you at the conference,
Yes.
November 10th, 11th, and 12th. We love you. Thank you,
Thank you.
Oliver.
Thank you, Susan.